Hello and welcome to this episode of the Magical Human Show. This week we are sans June. She's unavailable. There is a baby due and she's a birth doula, so I'm assuming baby's on the way. It's very exciting, but I'm sure she'll update us next time we see her. So Claire, we are coming up to a new moon. Is that correct?
We are. It's a new moon tomorrow at 22:27. So by the evening, we have this first new moon after the winter solstice when the sun was reborn. So this is a birch moon. This is the first tree to colonize a wood as soon as you do clearing. She's known as Lady of the Woods. She's actually ruled by the moon, and we know her for her silvery bark. She does come in many different types of birches, but silver birch is kind of the most beautiful. And she is the one that brings light into the woods when the trees have no leaves. So she's kind of like shining the light for the new beginning. So very much cleansing energy this time, which is probably just as well given all the things that people have got up to over the Christmas or the festive solstice period, wouldn't you say, Tamar?
Don't know, what have you been getting up to?
Lots of kind of, just indulging in cheese has been my main kind of
Cheese,
indulgence. It's cheese time of year. And cheese is
cheese.
not my brand, but I love it.
I love it. Worth it. Oh.
Birthday every time. Cheese and alcohol. Not too much, but regular drinking, which is not something I generally do. But at this time of year, I like to just switch off and be thoroughly antisocial and just chill out and rest and relax and walk and spend time with my family. What
Sounds
about
good.
you?
I'm getting muddled on what day it is. What day is it? How long till I have to go back to work?
It's
Very nice. So
Sunday.
are we at the start of the Celtic calendar? Because we've got mixed stuff, haven't we, with the new year? So I'm seeing stuff about New Year and New Year's Eve, you cleanse stuff, clean stuff, let go of stuff, and then New Year's Eve, you're sort of bringing in the new. And but then we've also got the fact that in some calendars, the new year isn't actually until the spring.
Yes. It's
So
It's a right mix mash. So for witches, we say the 31st of October is New Year because that's the third and final harvest. By that point, you've cleared out your fields. There is nothing left to take from the land. You allow everything to go to gentle slumber. The leaves leave the trees, animals are brought in. It's very much a kind of peaceful, restorative shadow journey. That's what it is for witches. For some people, it's Saturnalia, it's winter solstice. It's when basically the sun is reborn because it's reached its furthest point and it's starting to come back to us. So some people regard that return to light as a new year, new beginning, new baby sun, which is basically what we've got, the infant sun. This new moon could be seen as, the new year because it's the first moon after the sun has basically been born. So it is very much this new beginning. And interestingly, or not so, it's in Capricorn. And Capricorn is all about foundations, responsibility, getting things right. It's very much a practical, get the detail right, behave yourself, don't, get mired with lower vibrational emotions and feelings. Sit in your power and, bring it in. So that's what this new moon's about. So I would say that as a new year could be seen as an appropriate time for a new beginning. What it's not is a good time for putting in like resolutions and trying to change behaviors. We're still, Capricorn is an earth sign. Earth is feminine, although it's ruled by Saturn, which is father, but it's like the masculine father, mother, masculine, feminine energy. So the most kind of the furthest, how do I say this? The furthest side of the feminine energy. Does that like
mm,
you know what I mean? And so it's like, don't be harsh on yourself, still be gentle, because if you try and put in new health routines, you should be thinking about those anyway, but changing things too drastically, there's not the energy to
mm,
make that a success. That is better done as we move towards spring equinox, Ostara. When we come there, then we've got the light, and it's like no more excuses. Lighter diet, light, more energy, all that kind of stuff. It's a slow, gradual move to that. That doesn't mean you can put off going to the gym until March.
I
It
won't
just
be going then either. Not going now, won't be going then.
just be gentle, but be thinking about being responsible. And, it's quite a serious time, this. Capricorn always calls in serious energy. For people that are born with new moons, it's very much new moon energy is all about the self. So the self energy in that, whereas once we get to a full moon and we come out the other side, that's much more community. So if someone's born with a new moon or a first quarter moon, they're very much, their journey is more related to self. So it's like, what are you going to bring in? What are you going to kind of set in place to support your journey, as it were, in practical terms? So,
Mm.
yeah.
So yesterday I was concocting a medicinal drink.
Mm.
Saw it on TikTok. It's not fireside. I know fireside is something a bit different, but you're supposed to take a shot in the morning and it kind of stops you getting coughs and colds and stuff like that in the winter. And it's a lemon with the rind still on, an orange where you've taken the rind off, fresh ginger and turmeric. I only had dried turmeric. I'll tell you why that's important in a minute. Black pepper, cayenne pepper, and coconut water. And you blend them all up and then you squeeze it through a muslin cloth and drink that. And you just have a shot every day. And it's amazing. Now, where I realized I went wrong when it was burning is the turmeric is supposed to be fresh. So when I was watching the video and saw this lump of ginger, I thought, gosh, that's a lot of ginger, and put it all in. And some of that was actually turmeric. So it's very kind of, that burn that ginger gets you. I mean, it's certainly clearing out nasal passages and things like that. I shall finish it, but next time I shall put a little less ginger in. But it was fun making it. It stained everything. But like I've got some reusable bottles, and it just felt very kind of earthy to be making things like that. And I really quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, there's lots of variations of those kind of drinks. People can use garlic, lemon
Yeah.
juice, and chili is a good one. So and also then you've got the turmeric. You need the black pepper with the turmeric so that the liver can access it, because otherwise the liver can't do much with it. So you must have black pepper with it. Yeah, all of those kind of things are really valid as long as you are making sure they're not too cleansing, because again, we're not in a cleansing time of year. We're in a kind of still, we need the resources our bodies have built up. I'm talking about the good fats, not the bad fats, because the weather's still cold, we're still supposed to be quite slow, contemplative, etc. So if you're firebombing yourself, then it's kind of that's quite activating. So it's just gentle shades of but I'm sure it's delicious. Is it?
It burns. I mean, when I first drank it, I'm going, oh, but after I've drank it, I'm like, oh, I feel kind of invigorated, and my nose starts clearing and other things start clearing, going back to the shit show. But it feels like it's doing good. I can feel my body kind of fizzing with it. So I
Mm.
think.
Yeah, I just say the caveat to that is for people with any kind of acid reflux or digestive issues, this is not the drink for you. So just be mindful of that. Look after your system and be gentle with it. You can replicate the experience by using things like an apple, a carrot, and a dash of ginger and a dash of lemon juice. That kind of thing could be very healthy, but more in keeping because you've got the carrot, the root vegetable with this time of year, and you could put a bit of turmeric and black pepper into that if you do.
That's less acidic because this is very acidic.
Yeah, absolutely. And ginger's great. I love ginger. You can get those little shots made up of ginger and turmeric and things like that. I love it. But it's for certain people, it's not great. It's a bit too harsh on the system. So it's like finding that middle ground where you're actually doing good and not just burning a hole in your esophagus.
Yes, there is that. I'll keep an eye on it.
Or
We
any
don't want that.
sphincters that where things have to lead from because you know what, it's all, yeah,
They don't
relevant.
want to a hole in the sphincter, do they?
No. not more than the one they've already got. But
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And cayenne pepper, I mean, cayenne is good for some people and not for others because it's not, again, cayenne pepper, is it from this country? No, it's not. So let's have some mindfulness around kind of what we can use that's more possibly in keeping with our native soil.
So you would use the root vegetables that you just mentioned.
I would, yeah. I mean, I possibly would put in some onion, it depends what, but it would be just something, yeah. I mean, ginger is delicious. But yeah, not necessarily cayenne pepper.
Mm,
I
okay.
think certain cultures, that's just, really, really, really suited.
Mm, okay. So
I
what
think
will you be doing for the new moon and your new year? Not resolutions.
what will I be doing? Well, I'm hosting a circle tomorrow night, my normal circle. So I will be asking people to be thinking about this new kind of this new energy, this cardinal energy, because it's cardinal as well, which is new, kind of taking control. So what do they want to take control of practically in their kind of mastery?
Mm,
Give some consideration to that, give some consideration to silver birch and the cleansing element of it. I'll be drinking silver birch tea, and kind of like thinking about what needs to. So that's another way you can cleanse silver birch tea, which is actually delicious and is deeply cleansing, but quite gentle at the same time.
and is that the bark steeped in hot water? Okay.
Yeah, you can buy it made, or it's probably better to buy it from somebody who's harvesting it sustainably and considerately than go to the forest and hack the bark off your local silver birch.
Mm,
And I'm not advocating that. That's not very nice. But yeah, thinking about all that newness and this kind of opportunity to recover, restore, replenish energy, which is highly important.
But this is more planning stage. We're not taking action yet because we're supposed to be in that quiet phase. Okay.
No, because you're still doing your shadow journey. Like my mum said to me at Christmas, she said there's never been more people on their own at Christmas than there were this year.
Mm,
And I have never felt as antisocial as I have felt this year. I have been feeling, I just haven't wanted to see anyone. And that is usually I make plans between Christmas and New Year and I want to catch up with my friends. But this year I was just like, I'm not bothered. The last time I socialized was the 24th. The next time I socialize will be New Year's Eve. And then after that, I won't socialize again until, I just don't feel like I'm just very contemplative. Is that how you feel too?
yeah, so yeah, normally we would plan a load of stuff between Christmas and New Year, but most years things would get cancelled and fall through. So this year haven't really made plans not that far ahead of time. Just having quiet time at home, chilling out. Don't really feel the need to go anywhere, visit people. Not
No.
doing New Year, not interested. I should be in bed as normal. I'm not a big one for resolutions anyway, but my only thing for this year is to try and read a book a month. Just because sometimes a lot of time can pass when I've not picked anything up, so I'm just trying to get back into that.
Hmm.
Um,
A good one. Well, we look forward to following you on that journey. In terms of resolutions, I don't make any because this isn't really New Year for me. So,
no.
and I feel that with the cycles, nature is always giving us opportunities for newness and starting again. And it's like you can go to bed and wake up the next morning as a new leaf, every day a new opportunity to react and respond well, not react, respond in a different way. So
Mm.
it's good. Vision boards are probably the only thing that I put down and I do those in bulk for February. So that is when I kind of set my intentions for the year.
Mm. I was kind of not in a place of doing intentions this year, I think, because things have changed so much from last Christmas that weren't planned. I'm just kind of taking things as they come at the moment because you can plan all you like, but life has its own
And
plan. So like the cat's got stuck in my jumper. You're an idiot. Life has its own plans, and so if you try and make yours, I've got like a woven thing, and he's
oh,
getting all his
yeah,
claws.
got claws that don't retract.
Well, because he won't let you cut them, so they get ever so long until he gets stuck, and then he gets mad at me that he's stuck in my jumper because he won't let me cut his nail. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Yes, you try and plan, but the universe has its own version. I just think I'm just kind of going to roll with it. I can put out, wishes like I would really like this to happen this year, but I'm not going to force it. I'm going to do everything in my power, but I'm not going to kind of push stuff. I'm going to kind of roll with the punches a bit this year and just see if it's less stressful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all time, everyone, I keep seeing these memes all over the place of people saying, oh, 2024, it seemed like awful year. And it will have been for some people, and for other people, it would have been absolutely fine. It's like nobody's in the same place at exactly the same, not everybody's in the same place. I should say some people are in the same place, but it's all different depending on who you are and where you are in your journey. And it's relative, and it's all again how you choose to see the world and see what's happening to you, whether you choose to see yourself as a victim where everything basically happens to you, or whether you choose to see yourself as a really keen learner who likes to have a lot of learning experiences as they go through life. And it's hard to, when you're a keen learner, to always see the positive side in things, but it is it is a good way of looking at it, because that is ultimately what's happening. We're expanding and we're growing every time something difficult comes along and we get challenged in how we respond to it. So
I'd rather not have any growth opportunities this year. I think I'd
no
like a
growth
year
for
off.
2025. Can I just
No,
stay?
I just want to kind of skate through this year. I think I've had enough growth this last year that I know time for a break. I don't.
I agree with you, but I'm not sure that that always works out the way we want it to either. It definitely will find us. But yes, sometimes we do need time to consolidate, and I'm with you there, consolidating the growth and taking the time just to be allowed to plateau for a little bit while we really embody what we've learned. I am too asking that from spirit. Give me a fucking break. Absolutely. So another thing that I saw was quite interesting was I saw Jim Carrey on some show. Did you see it? I don't know what. It might have been David Letterman or something. I don't know. But anyway, he was saying that it was going on about the pineal gland, and Jim Carrey was saying, I'm not a me. I'm kind of, and talking about energy, and we're just like a spiral dance of energy, basically going through life, and all the spiritual stuff that we love and know. And the whole advert, it was an advert for a course, was talking about the pine cone, the pineal gland, the third eye, and how even in Rome there were statues of pine cones everywhere representing the third eye. And we talked last time about the Pope was apparently opening a whole load of portals on Christmas Eve. Around the world. So there was some recognition of the fact that there is other. So just fascinating. And I just seem to see more and more of this stuff coming up. So that gives me cheer, because I'm like, yeah, people are starting to realize there is more than meets the naked eye. And you have more power than you could possibly imagine over your life.
Mm, that would be nice. Because there's kind of things that you want to happen, but I'm kind of going, but it will happen at the time it's supposed to happen, and I can't force it and make it. Like, I want it now. I'm very impatient, but I know things will happen at the right time. And it's that kind of fine line between being really impatient but knowing divine timing will take care of it, and try not to lose your mind in the space in between.
Yeah, and just I'm remembering to yeah, surrender it to spirit where things don't quite turn out the way you want it to, and just saying, well, spirit, if you need me to be somewhere else or something else is going to happen that way, then so be it. Let that come on. Let that be with me. Yeah. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else that is worth sharing. Have you got anything weird that you've been following recently? I know how you like to dive deep into the alternative.
Weirdness. So apparently, the opening of the portals was energy harvesting of all the fear and anger in the world. So we're not to watch any of it being live streamed because you're feeding the energy. I haven't watched any of it. I
Sorry,
don't.
say that again. Let me just get my head around that. So,
So the opening of the portals, some of it was Christmas Eve, but it's happening over a few days, and some weird stuff's been going on. But the spiritual community is saying they're using it to harvest your energy. So we're not to watch the live stream of anything the Pope's doing or anything like that. And try and live in love and light, because they're harvesting fear and that and everything, because the world's not a great place at the moment. So it's a darker side of what we were hoping it was.
excuse me, this is a residual left over from my illness ages ago. But if he's opening it up and people feel good about that, then their frequency will be positive.
But people don't feel good about it.
Oh, they're worried about him opening
They're
these.
worried about him opening them. What is his intention? What is he opening? Because some of these haven't been open for a long time, and should he be opening them? and they're sort of saying it's a way of harvesting energy, so we're not to engage with it. So let them do what they want to do, but don't engage in it.
Well, they'd be doing it anyway, but it just this business of, yeah, I hear you. It's any attention that we give to anything is sending frequency and vibration. So that's why we have to be cautionary over what we watch and what we consume.
Mm.
But again, it's, okay.
I don't know the people that said it. They could be completely loonies, I don't know. But
Oh, that's the thing, isn't it? There's all this stuff going on. And, again, you just have to practice discernment with what feels like it could be true. Like that to me, I couldn't give a monkeys if the Pope's messing around with stuff like that. I would expect the Pope, given who he is, to have been initiated through the mystery schools. They don't just turn up in those positions. So he would possibly be very much aware of what he's doing, and he may be working with the dark energies, probably more than likely. But as always, these things need to happen in order to trigger other people to wake up, have enlightenment, step away from things. So it always has its own. That's the thing. It's like, what can you worry about and what can you just like go, don't really care.
yeah, we have no control. There's an awful lot going around on social media of them going, look, there's aliens in the ocean. I'm going, "Oh, don't care. But look at the drones in the sky. It's like, is that going to pay my electricity bill? No, don't care. It's like, we have got so much going on, but all that madness and distraction that some of it is clearly fabricated. You're just like, don't care, don't care. We're not reacting in the way you want us to react.
No, but I do like the idea of aliens in the sky and aliens under the ocean. I like the fact that that those kind of conversations can even be allowed to be had. And in fact, some of this stuff, I'm surprised it's been allowed on social media because I'm surprised because it would encourage such a far deeper level of independence in people, cultivate
Mm.
that I'm like, wow, I thought you really wanted to control and manipulate everyone. So how come you're kind of giving them more information about personal expansion?
Mm. But also, America's trying to shut down TikTok, so they're not allowing it on social media. They're trying to control the message.
Oh my God. I
They're
just,
trying to ban it because it's owned by a Chinese company and they're trying to force them to sell it and they won't. But
God,
it's all going through courts and stuff at the moment. It's a whole thing.
I'm doing well on TikTok. I don't want to have that shut down.
Yeah.
Um,
It's because people actually can communicate directly with each other and get news out. In the war, where the wars are happening in Ukraine, that people were posting from Ukraine. They've all got shut down now, but information was coming to us that wasn't filtered through mainstream media through the lens of they want us to be on this side and not that side. It was a real good way of disseminating information, and America doesn't like that. The land of the free and freedom of speech.
oh,
Wow.
no, but there is no such thing as a freedom of speech the way our society is set up in any of the kind of like ways of being, communism, capitalism, it would be impossible because there's still a fear agenda controlling.
Can I
Oh.
just go back to something you said earlier when you said the Pope has been through the mystery schools or something? Can you tell a bit more about that? Because I haven't heard of that.
So there's a really good book written by Jonathan Black called The Secret History of the World, and he gives us information about when all of the spiritual stuff, which was everybody's daily lives, like, everyone was much more that way inclined. So, mind before matter universe, whereas we've become matter before mind universe. So, um, it basically, when all the kind of suppression started with the kind of agenda for power and control, the information got funneled into mystery schools. And these are the mystery schools, like Da Vinci Code and things like that, when they talk about the Rosicrucians and things like that. It's like all of that got funneled in. And so anyone in a high level in the spirit, in a religion, has to be initiated. It's like the Masons, there is an initiation process, so that you have proved that you are capable of having this level of information. It's an expansion process, but it's a testing process, etc. And I am supposing, this is just a supposition by me, that the Pope and all popes and all people high up in the church would have been initiated properly through the mystery schools and been shared would have
Mm.
known the kind of keys, the stories, how the life is put together, really, because all that information is readily available within the church and these religious patriarchal religions.
Interesting. And I have to go and look into that.
So certain people get um, recruited in, can be family, but there is these layers again. I mean, all of these things like Northern Lights, they like Philip Pullman's books, they all refer to this kind of, group of people, international group of people that have got all these abilities, etc. They do have those abilities. It's like they understand, they've been trained, they've been initiated to remove all the limitations that get imposed on us from the minute we're born to make sure that we don't have access to those things so we're easier to control.
I wonder what the world would look like if that didn't happen.
It would go into a much more interesting state. But that's, again, I just feel that that's not meant to happen yet. But that awakening is happening now with this dawn of Aquarius and just this new kind of it's like we've gone so far to the extreme of being so materialistic and we've really become a matter universe that we're now, Aquarius is taking us back into a mind universe. And then people can realize the law of assumption, the law of attraction, all of these things, why they work, because it's a way you kind of understand how things have their own frequency and energetic resonance and how you can make them kind of come to you.
Mm.
Very,
Amazing.
very deep and philosophical for today.
Mm.
So I didn't plan on going that deep, and I hope that nobody is offended.
Do you want to segue into something a bit lighter? Have you got anything else you'd like to bring today?
I don't do light, so probably not, no.
You just want to get back to your cheese, don't you?
Well, there is that tempting me in the background, but no, I'm gonna get out, go for a walk before it gets dark. That's my thing at the moment, is like trying to get out into the countryside before the darkness swallows the light.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to lighter. Not so much the evenings. I don't mind the dark evenings. It's waking up in the morning in the dark and having to get up and be active and move. And I'm not down for that at all. So the lighter mornings, I'm hopeful will come soon. Please.
Blessed be. I'm happy with it all. I'm like, this is a
Yeah.
process. I like it, but I understand what you're saying. I
If I
appreciate
don't have to get up and do anything, I don't mind so much. Is when the alarm goes off and I have to get up and have to be somewhere. I'm like,
I
no.
agree. I agree. Resting is nice.
Yes. Okay. On that note, short and sweet today. So hopefully we'll be back around the next full moon in a couple of weeks.
Take care.
Bye.